sometimes switching it up can be useful, but sometimes sticking to your guns will pay off if you figure out what's working and what's not working with your current landing spot.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys, this is randomized duos. We got all 100 players, randomly assigned them their duo partner and said, good luck, it's time to show up and play. And man, the action has not disappointed.
Yeah, by now, some of these players should start forming a bit of a stronger bond with each other, considering some of these guys are playing with each other for the very first time.
Yeah.
Maybe they're, they got different landing spots, different tempos that they like to play at, and now they just kind of have to fuse into one tempo that works for both players.
That's right, man, and already off the bat, we're seeing players start to lock down locations. Obviously, Tilted Towers is going to be quite the hotspot. Looking in right now, you can see Aiden. But where is Butters, though? Is he close by? He's still alive. Looks to be okay.
He's got some shields on him. That's really good. Aiden is currently looking for some minis or a slurp, chug jug, anything can help at this point. He still has the entirety of this apartment building to loot. It doesn't seem like there's anybody in the building with him. Hopefully he will find the shields that he is looking for.
That's right, man. I really want to see these two face off. Aiden versus Nick Merckx. We've seen it a little bit, but it hasn't quite panned out in the way that, at least me personally, I'm looking for it to go down, right?
There's that chug jug, clutch chug jug from Butter. Is Nick Merckx? He is in Tilted Towers. I assume maybe he might switch things up, but he's still committing to it, and I like to see that.
Listen, man, Controller Gang represent. They're saying meet up in Tilted, time to battle it out. Best man wins.
Yeah, they love landing
face
here.
Off against everyone else still left in the lobby, but that's okay. Nick Merckx, you see him? It looks like, okay, he's all the way here near the clock tower. Okay,
yeah, so they're opting to land in the corner of Tilted. It's a little bit more secure. You can't get pushed from both sides when you're landing in that corner building, so it's a bit of a safer drop. However, you do give up the central position and the high ground that is offered from the apartment building or the center big building of Tilted Towers.
Yeah, and we're seeing people start to fight things out, but let's see where Nolan and his buddy Armand are. There looks like they're facing off against Base Soldier and Dementos. We saw Klinger get thrown. It's going to blow up an RV there on the right.
It's only got a great AR.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, look at the loadout. It's not ideal. I mean, he has 2 rounds, or 2 mags, rather. That's okay, but all you have to do with to apply pressure with is that AR. It's not really what you want.
And only 5 builds now. So Dementos and Base Soldier, but the Base Soldier is missing half of his health in this fight. Dementos is sitting up top with 150, so that is a pretty big advantage for Armin and Nolan. They just don't really have the weapon loadout right now to put pressure on them.
You see Dementos drops a few bandages. He says, all right, Base Soldier, you need to be the soldier. Carry me through this battle. Armand here looking to just maybe play things, a little slow here. I like that Nolan and Armand are, though they saw Bay was pretty low, they weren't just like, let's go full send. They're still respecting these players. Again, guys, this is 100 of the best players across the competitive scene.
So they're pretty far away from the safe zone right now, and this landing spot in particular usually can provide enough loot for just one set of duos, but 2 people here fighting for this landing spot isn't really a big payout for the winner anyways. So either these guys have to make quick work of each other, or one of them needs to disengage and just leave and go try to find loot elsewhere.
We see that the team just bailed. They're like, you know what? Cypher called it. We need to leave. So Base Soldier.
And I think that's definitely the smart thing to do in the situation. Both set of players don't really have anything, but over here we have Vicaros and Naga Ops in a fight with Ronaldo and Sap.
You see the dualies come out. That is going to be Ronaldo. Looks like he's going down. Sap left to fend for himself. And now he's a little bit on the back foot. We're going to see the Rams and 90 start to come out as they try to isolate Sap and shut him down. Vicaros still super low.
Here comes
so he's
the
going to
thirst.
try. Yeah, he's going to confirm this to give that health back over to Vicaros if he can. He's got eyes on Sap. The dualies putting in that work. Not enough. He has no more ammo. Okay, so he has a second pair of dualies. This is getting really crazy right now.
They've got to be careful. Everybody's got really low health here. Even though it's 1v2, Sap could easily turn this around.
Oh, it's close. And he dives down on Sap. Now, wow, that was actually super close. Sap could have, he could have made that play. But thankfully, Naga was like, look, bro, I got you 10 rounds total and my dualies. We're going to make this happen.
See, this is kind of what happens when 2 set of teams land in spots that usually provide good loot for just 1 set of teams. Even though they won that fight, they do have to do a lot more looting.
Looks like Nate Hill and Grenades found themselves some players here. Now, they only have 1 elimination, so it looks like they might have just cleaned up a fight. And that's going to be huge, man.
Yeah. It seems like the other player's teammate was already eliminated, or he's somewhere else, because I don't see anybody else near them on the map. Luckily for them, they do have some extra healing.
Yeah, look, up atop, Viking Village, the Siren and his duo up there. I mean, this is good, right? They only found one person. That's still okay. You know, you have that med kit if you do need it. We saw him top off there. And then we have just some extra ammo. Now he's going to slide across the lake. Time to make rotations.
Yeah, and just getting that first limb can be a big confidence boost for your duo. Putting a point on the board. Well, it's not a point, but you're putting a limb on the board, and that can lead to more points down through the game. So definitely is a big confidence boost getting that first elimination. Looks like they're rotating into Frozen Greasy Grove, but there is a team already there in the center.
Wow, immediately you see Nate Hill walk all the way back to grenades. He's like, look, I see a duo here in front of me. I don't know who it is, but I want to take this action.
I think it might be Sheep and his partner, because that is where they fought last game, and Nate Hill and his partner ended up getting eliminated 1v2 versus Sheep. So maybe they're going to play this one a little bit slower.
Yeah, he's like, I got to show respect where respect is due.
So it's not Sheep, but they don't know that. They might think that it is Sheep.
But now over here we got Frosty, we got Sean, and look how many people are here. They've built themselves a replica of Tilted Towers on this house. Much smaller though, still, it's a nice replica.
A lot of teams near Salty. It's going to be closer to the center of the map, so the circle usually is in your favor. You just got to make sure you get looted. But with all these players here, we can expect some action or some disengaging happening very soon.
I like that we see Sean utilizing this infantry rifle released today. And he's already adapted to his playstyle, right? 41, 43, 45 as far as where he goes to the body. Headshot is double damage for those. So,
it is
I mean,
projectile-based, but it is very accurate. It has a little bit of recoil. In the hands of a really good player, you can take out somebody from a distance very quickly.
It's interesting they're not really looking to fight. It feels like the game's a little slower right now. Am I crazy?
Absolutely. There's still 86 players alive. 14 players went down so far. People are playing a little bit slower. They want to make it to the end game before they start committing to these limbs. They also want to be comfortable with their loadout. Sometimes, you know, if you do have that rocket launcher or a hand cannon, you might want to make that play. But early on, if you don't have that power weapon, you don't really want to risk it.
It looks like Kevy1 and Jo do not want to risk it. They're walking away from this fight. We got the rockets coming out, stinkers out. Jo Kevy disengaging, and Sean and Frosty are
They scare them away with that. I mean, that wasn't really going to do too much damage. It does make a lot of noise. It attracts people from around them, so they were just like, let's get out of here before it gets a little too crazy.
But look at the mini-map right now. I mean, look how many people are on. And look, Dementos is actually on a supply crate. This could be huge because with the recent change, RPGs could come out of there.
And it looks like Kevy doesn't want to give them the supply crate. It looks like he's debating on whether he should use these clingers on the supply crate. Ronin flying over the top, taking a few hits from Kevy.
He's immediately just wrapped around this little structure.
Here comes the clingers.
Oh, the clingers are out. Dementos
needs to move.
He starts to build down, and there's just clingers being rained down from the sky. He's going to be okay, but he has to back away from the supply drop entirely.
Absolutely, and that was a really good play from Kevy. But they're getting rotated on right now.
Sean tried to get cheeky. Kevy1 responds with a massive blue pump to the face there. And now Sean is left to fend for himself. Rotation start has happened.
Oh.
Kevy's punished. He tries to go for the window edit, but Frosty's ready.
Oh, man, that is tough. Frosty predicted that he was going to make that edit. Sometimes you got to be careful when you're opening a window like that. Your opponent can shoot you back, even if that is your wall, and that's exactly what just happened. Kevy down, and J-Mock is left to fend for himself. However, J-Mock is very healthy compared to Frosty and Sean, and there are other players nearby, so it's not really like a 2v1 situation, because if they do start pushing J-Mock, Dementos and Base Soldier could easily rotate on them.
It looks like Dementos and Base Soldier actually didn't want it. They just kind of walked back into the town there, maybe looking to find some additional loot. They're pretty far from the storm, so not the direction you want to be moving in, but Jo is going to have to make something happen.
They're launch padding right now, actually.
Oh,
so they go over the top, and now it's Jo left by himself with Sean and Frosty.
They're going to fly right by Poach and Tendons as well. Looks like shots are going to come out, but Nick Merckx, the man, the myth, the legend, here with Harmful. Looks like Paytech and Overpeak on a little bit of this action.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed that they're right behind him. Here comes the shots. Only hitting him once for 25 shield. They're still very healthy.
Trying to build up, trying to get this angle. He draws a beat here on Overpeak and Paytech. Just laying down a few shots, nothing crazy. I like this. You know, in a lot of situations, you want to try and take as many shots as you can. Recognizing when to conserve. Massive props here to Nick Merckx.
4 players rotating into the circle. Nick Merckx taking a little bit more damage, but he's going to be able to pop off these mini shields. And he's actually opting for the Chug Jug. And, you know, that's probably smart because it takes 15 seconds. You're usually not going to be able to pop that unless there's some downtime.
He's committed to it. He's going full send. He's like, I'm going to need this extra shield. And now, here's the thing, man. Harmful's left to kind of hold off these two in front of him. Look at this mini-map.
Yeah.
All right, there's people everywhere.
And Harmful's doing a great job just staying aggressive, staying in their face. Even though, you know, Nick Merckx was popping that Chug Jug, he didn't want them to know that he was popping that, so he just kept pushing them, and he allowed him to get that Chug Jug off. And they're now pushing from both sides, taking out Overpeak and going for his partner, Pate 1K. Absolutely amazing play from Nick Merckx and Harmful. Great positioning, great understanding of when to push and how to look like the bigger duo in this fight.
That extra shield there that he committed for from that Chug Jug paid out dividends. His health, he might have actually gone down, and now it's okay, right? He gets the extra 50 health, which in this case is shield from that elimination, right? They can make upgrades, they find mats, ammo, and here's the thing, Dementos and Base Soldier, they don't actually even want it. They hear the action, they're like, look, this storm wall right now is at our back.
Yeah.
We gotta hightail it out of here now.
Harmful and Nick, they're not stopping. They smell blood, and they actually did get a shot on Base Soldier, and they both know now that Base Soldier does not have shields because he did get that white damage. But that was a really big 2v2 for them because they secured their first point of this match with 4 limbs right there. And they've got the Rift to go. They've got a good loadout. They've got shields. Base Soldier is still over there with the Mentos. Neither of them have shields, and it doesn't look like they have any. And Base Soldier's in the storm right now still.
Yeah, he's not good. He has literally had to walk back in a storm to get himself to safety. That's how much things are looking pretty dire for him, I'll be honest.
One AR shot to Base Soldier from either Tendons and Poach or Nick Merckx and Harmful will take him out here. And I think they know that they're weak. They came out of the storm. They've hit him a few times. They know they don't have shields. This is a really bad spot for Dementos and Base Soldier. However, Nick Merckx and Harmful can't push because of the fact that Tendons and Poach are on top, and they could capitalize off of that push.
They absolutely could. Keep in mind, though, they do have that Rift to go. They can bail when they need to, and they know this, so they're applying as much pressure to Mentos and Base Soldier as they can. They've got the ammo camp to do it, so
Here
they're
it
just laying
comes.
down shots.
Tendons and Poach. Just like I said, they're going to go ahead and prevent Harmful Nick Merckx from securing these limbs. They do want to save that Rift to go for the late game. They do have 4 launch pads. Harmful is carrying 4 launch pads himself, and they're probably going to use that to get into the circle and save the Rift to go for the later circles when the circle is moving far into the storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the hill, though, Poach, Tendons, it looks like they're backing away. They have no eliminations, man. They need to try and work for something. Those elimination points are super, super valuable.
Yeah, and I think Dementos just got knocked. I'm not entirely sure who knocked Dementos, but Base Soldier is going to go ahead and leave him alone.
And now he's going to put a shot down. That was a nice
the infantry
hit.
rifle.
Putting in so much work. It was Poach that took down Base Soldier, so this is going to see 2 eliminations over him. 2 more, and that's a point for them on the board. And now they're just looking to make it safely into the current safe circle.
There we go. They secured those 2 limbs. They still have 2 Rift to goes. They're trying to get into the circle. Poach and Tendons have the kit to make it to the end game and potentially take the W here.
Aggress here. This is Nick Merckx that they're going to be facing off against. Can Poach make something happen? Harmful is down below, so obviously they're going to try and take the high ground. Nick Merckx, though, playing it slow. He's like, listen, man, I got to make my way back to you. I like this. He did get punished, but it's okay. They're back together.
Yeah, you notice the tempo that Poach and Tendons have. They pushed really, really fast and aggressively to take the high ground, but once they took it, they slowed down because they understand they need to make it to the end game, and they respect these players and understand that any fight they get into could be their last fight of the round. So they're going to go ahead and slow it down, have the high ground. They know Nick Merckx and Harmful are underneath them, but they're not really looking to make an aggressive play. You'll notice Poach, he only has 13 shots in his gray AR. He has a gray SMG and a green pump. That's not a really good loadout.
Yeah.
So, if you're looking to fight with that, you better either be really confident or know that your opponents are very weak.
That's right. Now, before we get into more action, I think we're going to need to call in an expert here to catch us up on those mid-game highlights. Bala, what you got for us, my friend?
Thank you, Zeke. As players are starting to rack up these points, let's look at the story of Nick Mercs and Harmful here outside of Tilted. They find Sheep and Dopai trying to rotate with that quad crasher, but they're going to actually break it, and it's going to cause Sheep and Dopai to fall to gravity. They're going to be able to pick up some loot here, which is a launch pad and stuff, and items like that, which is going to help them further. But here's Twyfo getting contested in that yonder yard. He's going to be able to take out Nistic, and they're having a little bit of trouble versus them as J-Truth is down, but he's going to be able to pick him up. And now back to Nick Mercs and Harmful. They actually chase down Aiden outside of Tilted as Aiden tries to escape. He's not going to be able to. Here's Harmful and Nick just pressuring that front, and it's not going to be enough for Aiden to get through that wall. And there it is. They're going to go ahead and pick up a Rift to go, a launch pad, and that's where you see them now in a position to score.
Nick Mercs taking out Aiden in 2 of the games.
Yeah.
Getting some of that revenge, some of that sweet revenge. Now, he didn't eliminate him in Tilted Towers, and that's kind of part of the process of transferring the ownership of Tilted Towers. You have to eliminate the opponent in Tilted. It looks like they just used their Rift to go to get into the circle. Poach and Tendons are going to go ahead and just recycle that Rift and save the 2 that they have, and that's a great, great payoff for them.
And now look, Vinny and Margassi being gate kept. They have to rely on a launch pad to get themselves to safety. And all eyes are on them. Shots are going to be coming through. They need to build like the wind right now to keep themselves safe.
They are in the circle right now, so they're probably going to hold their ground. This is not a good position to be in, though, on a downhill slope with a lot of players holding the high ground. And it doesn't seem like they have a lot of mobility on them. So on this next rotation, it could get a little tricky for Vinny and Margassi.
Still at 58 players. Guys at home, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Secret Skirmish. Super happy you're here joining us here on Valentine's Day as well. We're in game number 3 of the Secret Skirmish duo format, randomized duos, that's right. And of course, the crowd favorite in big bonus. We saw Demo and Tfue in game 1 pop a big bonus. Look at that
position they have.
And take Tricky in game 2 as well. But over to the action, Cypher. Looks like Homer putting out shots.
Cloakzy seems to be by himself. Chap is down. And I think Fulmer's partner was also down.
I mean, listen, man, there's chaos everywhere. This is what happens when you put 100 of the best players in the competitive scene in one lobby and say, duke it out.
But look at the circle. Half of the circle is high up on the snow peak over here. And guess who's up there? We got DMO and Tfue close to the high ground. Really good positioning for the game 1 winners.
That's right. I mean, this is what they do best. And now, I mean, check it out, man. We still have plenty of people left. 50 players, and it's about to get super claustrophobic. There in the distance, we see Kroos go down.
Kiwi Face trying to save him.
Doing everything he can. Yeah. And Okada as well taking shots. And I mean, look, Cloakzy's like, listen, I want some of this action. That loadout right now, Cypher, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, man.
He fortunately for him, he does have the 2 launch pads and the Rift to go, but he needs to secure a limb and trade out some of his goods, because Gray SMG, you know, luckily for him, he's got the purple pump, but that's about the only thing working for him besides mobility. And
a little secret stash. Okay, so he knew something we didn't, and that was that he had a secret stash. Fair, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Not the best stash, but he got something out of it.
Better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And now Kai's.
Pay attention to that zip line. I wonder if anybody's going to use it to move around as this circle closes up.
You know, you could, but it's like really dangerous. Now, keep in mind with this patch, we have the fall damage immunity. So like once you hop on, you can hop off, you're safe. But at the same time, it's a very,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very like pronounced sound that plays, and everyone kind of knows exactly where to look.
But you never know, with all this chaos, people can slip by. Look at this launch pad play coming in from Sofa and Posic. Are they? Oh, they don't even have to use launch pad. Not yet, but they're getting it prepped.
They prepped it.
Yeah.
It was just testing. It's like, is it launch? It does.
Work.
I like it. The thing is, above them though, they know this is not their build.
And there's going to be a lot of builds above them, so I don't even know if using this launch pad is going to be viable. I think they're trying to check right now, but I can see them jumping on this and just hitting another build right on top of them.
I mean, yeah, man, I feel like they may have jumped on a little bit. Cloakzy here looking to line up shots. He's got Jay Cuddy in line of sight. He's going to tag him once. I mean, they need to make something happen. No eliminations, and Chap is gone.
A little bit of pressure now on Cloakzy. I guess he's made himself a little bit of target. But he's putting so much pressure on people. Look at those headshots on Marksman. Double 60 with the gray AR. He knows he's weak, and he knows he needs to get some limbs right here.
But look who's still in the fight. Nick Mercs and Harmful, they have 4 eliminations together. Cloaksy going to the skies here. He's going to try and reposition. This is going to be really tough. This is an uphill battle for him, having to fight by himself. And look how many players still remain. 38 in the lobby.
Looks like he's got enough materials. He still is holding on to his Rift to Go as a last-ditch effort. So, you know, let's see if Cloaksy can do this thing by himself.
And for you guys at home, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Secret Skirmish time. Duos, randomized teams. That's right. For the final moments, Demo here looking to get to safety. Almost punished by Cloaksy. Did not
just a little bit. 40 damage. He'll still be alive. He'll recover. But it looks like TVU and DMR are holding the low ground really well right now. Jae Young gets taken out right there. But with 4 limbs, they secured at least 1 point. Bizzle and Triggy currently 0 limbs each, but are using their Rift to Go, and they might go for the high ground here. Bizzle is an expert at taking the high ground and keeping it. And that's how he's won a lot of his previous competitions. So let's see what they're going to opt out for. It looks like they're going for the mid ground here because the high ground was a little bit too contested for them.
Oh man, Bizzle swoops down and he was okay, but Triggy took a bunch of damage there in the green. Over at Nick Mercs as well. They have 6 eliminations. This is massive. Points, and he couldn't quite follow up. But listen, 6 eliminations.
Yes.
Still massive here in game number 2. And now we've got Cloaksy here trying to hang on for dear life. Bizzle. These guys, I don't know how it is they always manage to slip up by undetected, but they're going to look to make that high ground
play. The circle's going up the mountain. It's going to be really tough for these players. You need a Rift to Go, you need a launch pad, or you need a lot of building to get up this mountain. A lot of players might go down through the storm here if they're not careful.
They need to try and do this follow-up on the left, recycle people's builds, and immediately they're going up for the high ground. 33 builds. And we're down to top 8, Cypher.
Sophin Posick holding the high ground, but Cease and his partner might be challenging it with this launch pad play. Is Cease going to land inside? He goes and dips into the storm, trying to make a little bit of a juke, but did not work in his favor. Gets shot. He has a lot of heals. He's going for the limb on CPK Flame. He's opting to just go for limbs instead of healing as a way to heal himself.
He's got 5 right now. This could be massive. He could potentially top back up on shield. 1. That's 1.
Great pump shot, but he's got to get out of the storm.
That's a 95. That's down. If he can confirm this, he just has to wait it out. They'll fall to the storm.
Great shots, great positioning. Absolutely amazing play from Cease. That is 7 limbs and the win.
Cease, the man, the myth, the legend.
I cannot believe that he was so weak, and he spent half the time in the storm there at the end, but his positioning was perfect and he picked off the right players.
That's very difficult to do, all right? He made every decision he needed to set himself up for that win. We'll go back and take a look at those final moments here. So again, we want to watch Cease here in the bottom left. You see Sofa and Tennis go toe-to-toe, and he was just in the position, right? He was coming around the corner. They happened to take each other out. Here
He
you
was
go,
out of materials, too.
It really was. It could have gone either way. He dips down around, and he puts a shot down, and that's it. That's enough to